Welcome to the Complete Story series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. I then add in some music, we cut away some of the words to give you more of a motion comic appearance, and I pretend I can do some voice acting. I hope you guys enjoy this video because we're going to be continuing our storyline of Harley Quinn. For those of you who don't know, the Harley Quinn storyline is in continuity, but out of continuity. It's one of those things you just don't question. And in this storyline, she's going to be dealing with becoming the hero of Coney Island, as she deals with some interesting villains. In her last video, Harley witnessed the return of Zorkrum, an ancient being who had his sights set on world domination. With the help of Atlee and Power Girl, Harley and the girls managed to fight off Zorkrum after he contacted rabies from a rabbit squirrel. But now, many of New York's homeless are missing, and it's up to Harley to find out why. As the sun shines down on Coney Island, Harley looks at her homeless friend Skipper, telling him that she brought him some leftovers. As she heads over to Skipper's usual hangout, all she finds is his tent and he's nowhere to be seen. Harley asks Josh, another homeless man, where is Skipper? And Josh says that he's not sure, he hasn't seen him in a few days. He would like to think that he'd just up and moved, but rumors of homeless people disappearing have been spreading around the city. Harley says, yeah, she'd hate to think that something bad happened to him, so just give her a shout if he turns up, okay? Weeks later, the police chief Spoonsdale visits Harley's building, and Tony meets him outside asking what brings him to their neck of the woods. Spoonsdale says that he needs to speak with Harley. He's been trying to call her for the past week. Red Tool asks, what's up? And Spoonsdale tells him, no disrespect, but this is something that I should talk to only her about. Red Tool says that Harley has been kind of taking a break from things, but they'll show her to her room. Inside, Harley is sitting on her bed meditating, and as Red Tool walks in, Harley smacks him, asking him, what are you doing interrupting me like that? Spoonsdale walks in stating that he apologizes for interrupting her, but there are some urgent matters that he needs to speak with her about alone. Harley kicks Red Tool out, and as Harley and Spoonsdale sit down at the table, Spoonsdale begins to pull out a stack of photos. He hands them to Harley, stating that for about a month now, they've been getting reports of homeless people being abducted. Problem is, most of these people are undocumented, and they have no way of following up who and where these people came from. After speaking with almost 100 local homeless people, all they said is they remember seeing the same thing. Well-dressed people show up in a van, offer food and shelter, and then they vanish. The first week it was just in Manhattan, but now it's spread throughout the boroughs. Harley says that about a week ago, she went to go see her friend Skipper, sweet guy whose wife passed and now he's gone. Could they be related? Maybe they just moved down south for the winter. Spoonsdale tells her that he wishes that was the case, but they planted 2 undercover officers in Central Park and now they're also missing. Someone is abducting the homeless, which is why he's asking for their help on this. Later that night in Prospect Park, Harley sets up a tent and asks how's everything going outside. Red Tool, who is sweeping the pathway, says nothing to report here. Eggy? And Eggy, who's in a boat floating around the lake, radios in that he can hear them both loud and clear, but nothing to report in the sea. Harley says, sea? You mean lake? That's a lake. Never mind. She's just gonna chill out and see if these people take the bait. Red Tool radios back in that he sees a homeless guy in a tinfoil hat and a coat with rubber rats pinned to it. He's asking for money so that he can repair his spaceship. Looks a little suspicious. And Harley says, really? If there's one thing that you've got to understand, is that these people ran into some crappy circumstances that got them to this point. It could have been a traumatic event, personal crisis, domestic violence. We can't be quick to judge them just because of the way they look. Red Tool says, wow, Dr. Quinzel is starting to show. But how are we supposed to diagnose the actual problem? Harley tells him that there are professional organizations that help these people. If everyone just had a little understanding and respect, it would make a huge difference. As Harley goes on, Red Tool reports back that he sees 3 teens heading their way. Just then, the teens stop by Harley's tent and they say that it looks like they got themselves a new tenant. Time to see what this one's got to offer. The girl of the group opens up the tent telling Harley that she's gonna have to pay them if she wants to sleep there. She asks, how am I supposed to pay you? I'm homeless! Now get a life and get out of here. One of the teens says that it looks like it's time for a fire sale, huh? And the girl laughs, stating that she's got this. The girl then sprays lighter fluid onto the tent and one of the others flicks a match, causing it to ignite. Harley jumps out of the tent with a bat, cracking the girl across the face, knocking her to the ground. Another teen shouts that that's his girlfriend, and the other one shouts, you are so marked for death! Harley says, marked for death? Where the hell did that come from? I have zero sympathy for people that do what you just did. Harley then kicks the boyfriend down, and as he lands, she runs up stomping on his groin. As the other teen runs, Harley asks Red Tool if he can handle that one, and Red Tool tells her of course. The teen runs by Red Tool shouting that chick is crazy! And Red Tool takes out his broom, thrusting it between the teen's legs, flipping him up and into a tree. After loading everyone into his trash can, Red Tool says that he's got to go drop these punks off in front of the station with a note so the cops will know what to do. As Harley begins to put out her fire, a van screeches up behind her, and Harley asks, what now? A man gets out stating, is everything okay? And Harley tells him, yeah, just a bunch of kids messing around. The woman with the man says that they can help her and provide shelter if she'd like. Harley asks, who are they? And the man says that they work for the city. They run a shelter nearby and they offer clothing and food. Harley tells him she'll pass, but what's the name of the organization? The man says that their program is city funded by the mayor himself. So Harley says that means that you have some sort of ID, right? With Harley's back turned, the woman says that she's got it right here, and she grabs Harley from behind, covering her face with a chloroform rag. As Harley falls to the ground, she tries to reach out to grab a treat, but the woman tells her to relax. It'll all be over soon. Meanwhile, over in Mayor DePardo, he tells his aide Madison that she's been doing a tremendous job at reducing the amount of homeless in the city. But it's time that she explains how she's doing it. How exactly is she dealing with these homeless people? Madison pauses for a moment and asks, "Do you seriously want to know?" And DePardo says yes. She says that she employed a group of criminals to eat them up. DePardo says, "Wait, are you serious?" And Madison says, "Serious." DePardo gets up from his desk shouting, "You brought cannibals into our city to eat the homeless? Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant!" As DePardo picks Madison up and sets her down, he tells her, "I need more like you. But as it is, we've carried out what we needed to do. It's time to call them off and have them move on. If we need them again in a few years, we'll employ them then." Madison puts her shoes back on after being picked up and says that she'll go and meet with them later and give them the good news. She's sure they'll understand. Back in the park, the cannibals begin to speed off with Harley, with Red Tool chasing after them, throwing ninja stars to try and stop them. But as he does, one of the ninja stars whizzes by an officer, and they shout at Red Tool, telling him to get back here. In the van itself, Harley begins to wake up, and the woman asks, "How is that even possible? Butch!" The group leader, Butch, says that he's got it, and he begins to punch Harley in the face to try and knock her back out. She leans back up, stating, "You are making a big mistake." Then Butch hits Harley again, slamming her head into the floor. Just then there's a loud thunk, and a thing begins to hit the back of the van, with Harley yelling, "Yo, Toolsy!" Outside, while being chased by the police force, Red Tool continues to throw tools, knives, and saw blades into the back of the van. With the cannibals distracted, Harley tries to get back up, swinging and punching anyone who gets close. But while Harley is turned, the woman grabs her, holding her up, while Butch gives her one last punch before the woman covers her face with another rag. Once Harley finally stops kicking, Butch says that she has such a royal pain. "I'm really going to enjoy masticating that one." A short while later, at the cannibals' hideout, Butch and the others drag Harley in and they begin to undress her, and that's when they notice her top. The woman asks what kind of suit is that, and Madison walks in stating that they've actually managed to capture Harley Quinn. If you don't know who that is, just trust me when I say you have a bigger catch than you realize. The mayor is not a fan of that young woman. And besides that, there's something that we all need to discuss. Please, everyone gather close. One of the men grab Harley, tossing her into the closet where they keep all of the skeletal remains, and tells her to stay here until they need her. Harley begins to wake back up, stating, "Ouch, wait, is that Skipper?" The skull's shape looks just like Skipper. The ghostly voice from the skull says, "Hello, Harley. Looks like you're in a bit of a bind." And Harley says, "Yeah, you can say that again, Skipper. Now I'm really mad." Out in the dining room, Madison tells everyone that she's here bearing good news. They've done such a wonderful job that the mayor is giving them a bonus. They can each enjoy their stay here for another week, and after that, arrangements will be made so they can head to the next destination. Butch asks, "Who said we're leaving?" Just then the doorbell rings, and Butch flips on the security cam. On the screen, Red Tool yells, "Hello, kitties! The little pasty blonde playmate that you have in there, it's time for her to come home." Back in the closet, Harley sits up, stating, "Holy bonabodes! This sucks!" Skipper's skull then says, "Well, at least you still have your skin." Harley then asks, "Do you think you can give me a hand?" And Skipper tells her, "I actually don't know where my hands are, but I should be able to chew through the ropes." As the ropes snap, Harley laughs, stating, "You actually did it!" Skipper says, "Well, go have fun, kiddo. I'm gonna go back to my lovely wife." Harley begins to take off the ropes on her feet, stating, "Aw, I'm so happy that you're back together again." Once Harley picks the lock, she looks around to see a wall of knives and hammers, shouting, "Yay!" Back upstairs, though, Red Tool yells, "Knock, knock, little piggies! Open up or I'm gonna blow this door down!" One of the cannibals asks who the hell is that, and another says that it's one of Harley's cohorts. He's an extremely dangerous idiot. And Red Tool shouts, "I heard that!" He begins to pull the trigger on his giant gun, and as it fires, it sends a blast so powerful that it throws him out the window. Red Tool quickly starts to go through his tools, and he pulls out a grappling hook, which he fires immediately. The anchor shoots up into a building and through a man, pulling him out the window. As the two fall, Red Tool sees a flagpole and yells, "What luck!" And then Red Tool and the man begin to spin around the pole, smacking into each other. Once they fall, a man runs up, asking, "Is everything okay?" And Red Tool says, "I'm a bit peachier than that guy over there, but yeah, I'm gonna need to make a quick call." Back in the hideout, Madison says, "Well, that's that." And Butch tells him, "Actually, no, it's not. We're not leaving." Madison yells, "You were hired for a job, and the job is done. You need to leave." And Butch says, "While I understand that, you need to understand that we've grown to like this city. This thing is now our home." But while the two argue, Harley walks up shouting, "It!" Once in a while, someone comes along that deserves every single solitary damn thing that they ask for. I better be getting a big-ass parade for what I'm about to do. Butch grins, stating, "I'm certainly going to enjoy devouring her." Harley charges forward, using the hammer to bash into Madison's shoulder, and then proceeds to use the knives to dismember and behead everyone else. As one of the cannibals then grabs her, she breaks free and continues cutting limb after limb off, throwing the bodies out the window. Butch smiles, stating, "Look at that! She's such a fighter!" And Madison asks, "Oh, can you just kill her already?" As the last cannibal falls, Harley looks at Butch, telling him, "You are gonna suck dirt for what you did to Skipper and the rest of them." And Butch laughs, telling her, "You can give it your best shot." Harley cracks Butch in the head with her hammer, and then she runs into the bathroom as Butch chases her. He grabs her, opening up his mouth to bite into her neck. As she spins around, gouging out one of his eyes, she tells him, "Hold still, I got one more to go." Butch screams, pushing her off, so Harley grabs the top of the toilet, stating, "Hitting you with a hammer was too good even for you." Back in the main room, Chief Spoonsdale runs in with his officers, asking, "Is that Madison Berkowitz?" Madison yells, "Thank God you're here! She is out of control! I was just attacked by that mad woman, Harley Quinn!" Spoonsdale helps the officers pick her back up and tells them that they need to make sure that this one doesn't go anywhere. Spoonsdale then looks in the other room and he sees all the blood splattered across the room. And Harley's voice calls out, "Spoonsdale, by the way, that woman's working with them." Everyone looks back to see Harley dragging Butch out, stating, "You're gonna need a lot of body bags, but I did save you the leader. These guys are the ones responsible for the missing people, and that woman was in cahoots with the mayor to bring them here." Madison shouts, "That is a lie!" And Harley asks, "Is it really? Because I heard firsthand what you said." Spoonsdale says they're gonna look into that. People say a lot of things to get out of situations. We're not gonna act until we have proof. Spoonsdale then tells Harley to come and walk with him. There's some things that he wants to discuss with her. As the two leave, Spoonsdale says that he'd like to thank her for being his secret weapon in all of this. But it's getting harder and harder to keep the media away. The city wants a hero. Harley tells him the city already has heroes, but if she were to become an official hero, would she get a penthouse suite in the Mandarin Oriental? Stakes for life at Luger's? Spoonsdale tells her, well, no. And Harley says that she'll continue to stay under the radar then. The attention is great and all, but she really doesn't want anything happening to her crew. As the two step outside, Red Tool runs up in a sling, shouting, "Thank God!" And Harley says, "Jeez Louise, you look like crap. You gonna be all right?" Red Tool tells her, "Probably not, but I did learn that my new gun is not meant for close quarters. Lesson learned." Just then, a taxi pulls up and Eggy gets out yelling, "Oh my God, is everyone okay?" Harley tells him to relax and tell the cabby to keep the meter running. They're going home to eat some normal, healthy people food, like popcorn and hot dogs and cotton candy. And there you have it. Harley Quinn and Red Tool, aka Deadpool, are off on adventures fighting cannibals. And now that storyline's going to continue. I'm a huge fan of the Harley Quinn comic book, and I hope you guys are as well. And if you are, please don't forget to give us a little subscription right here, because that will let you keep up to date as to what's happening with the comic books that we cover right here on Comicstorian. Do you want to know what's happening with your favorite pop culture heroes that are in the movies, the video games, and in the comic books? Well, subscribe right here at Comicstorian, because we got you covered. And I'll see you next time right here.